view on them, how they are used, and who invented them. Then we have the third here. We have Gemini. Gemini is Google operated. Then we have. I just want to give us the basic ones, not to go into deep, because we have over 1,000 AI tools on net. But you can't be everywhere. You always need to get a tool that you can learn and specialize in it. Like you have at least 70% of how that tool is being used. So when we are running like data analysis, you can run with this. Then there are others there is Google Analytics something. I will be sharing them on chat, but I want us to focus on these three because all of them have the free package. Yes, you can pay for them. At least all of them go with a list of $20 to $25 per month, which is around 70,000. I do that because I use it in many things. Then cloud, it has been the best for me because it does more coding and more data analytics and gives you a lot of artifacts like outputs. Then we have Google Gemini, which is good also. And actually, not forgetting, we have Copilot. How would I have forgotten that because we are using Power BI? So we have Copilot. This Copilot is under Power BI. So when you open Power BI, I will open Power BI on another laptop. This is a Mac, doesn't have Power BI. So when you open Power BI, you'll find it has a Copilot icon. And it is also integrated directly in Excel, so it's easy for you to use. I have a video I've recorded that I will be releasing. That is how you use AI in Excel and Google Sheets. So for now, make sure that you at least get yourself with the basics, how to use ChatGTP. That is what we call prompt engineering. You just need the way how they command, just using a simple word for us to understand how you command AI to give you exactly what you need. Remember on internet, on any URL you drop in, garbage out. Whatever you put in, they will give you an output. But is it what you want? No, it's not. So we are going to hover through this for today, but entirely we shall look at ChatGTP and we shall go with cloud. And it can also give you directions on how you can run some of the things. Like you get stuck somewhere, you run to ChatGTP. You can even take a screenshot. You prompt it right. It will always give you step-by-step guide on how you can come out. It has become a just self-tutor. Then last week, I can say maybe just the last weeks in Feb, Google released how do we call it? Was like a missile to all the AI models, which we call Notebook LM. Notebook LM has taken people crazy because it does research, it does everything. So when you open your Gmail or your Google and you go to these dots, you look at all the programs you access, it is the last Notebook LM. Notebook LM can do a lot for you. It can summarize more than 5-7 documents. When uploaded, it gives you a summary as you need it. It gives you, let me open like executive reporting I was working on today. So you see, you give it just a source where it has to pick data. I'll be having a video on this. Then you keep prompting it on exactly what you need. And at the end of the day, you can download an infographic, something that looks like this, and you go ahead and post it, or you go ahead and have it as your own. So it produces something like this. This is called an infographic. Then you can have you can have sorry, here I'm generating, but I already generated one. You can have what we call mind maps, that if you're learning like DAX, it can tell you how this is split from stage to stage. You get? And the moment I click any of this, it will automatically give me discussing about that topic. And all this is not from the entire net, it is just from the sources I've given it. And how do you give it sources? By adding here sources. You go ahead and add here links. If you have to upload a file, you upload it from here. If you have to connect it to your drive, you connect it from here. And if you have to copy text from anywhere, you can just copy text, bring it here, it will consider it as a source. And it will automatically take you through. Now, you can imagine if you have your data from maybe the other learning portal of ours, you come and dump it here, and it will give you nice infographics. Those who follow me on LinkedIn, you should have seen me posting this. You can now, like this Power BI, the visual path. So you see these sources, I just copied this from our portal. By the end of the day, it gave me nice visuals like Power BI Insight workflows. So all these are AI models which are here for us to learn. So you can imagine getting something like this if you have been struggling to learn Power BI. It brings it in an infographic that really you can't fail to go through this and understand. It tells you data is all over unclean data. Data is just messy. What we do, we clean through Power Query. We did this and modeling. Those are the 3 steps in intelligence pipeline. That is Power BI. Then we have been doing calculating and visualizing, which we are going to do today. That is the DAX. Then after that, we shall publish. That is obviously our 7th session. And it tells us that we do this all with Power BI desktop, which we have been using. Then I told you in our introduction that we have Power BI desktop, we have BI service, and we have BI mobile. And it gives you the description. You can't fail to read through this, and you easily understand because you're looking at the visuals. And that's why we are doing this Power BI, because we want to start visualizing data right. When you have messy data like this, how can I get a dashboard and people easily make decisions from that data? So here are comparisons between Excel and Power BI workflows. So, and all this was created just with data that I exported. I copied from the other side, just pasted it here, and it went ahead just clicking on infographic or clicking on mind map. It brings you everything you need. So that is Notebook LM. And the worst of it all, you can even create a podcast for your own and you listen, like for ladies. Or I also do that when I'm cooking, maybe making myself a meal. I create like an audio from my data. If you're in procurement, if you're in any position that you read contracts to extract data and get errors and all that, you can load those contracts here. The good thing with Notebook LM, it doesn't expose your data to the public because this is under your account, Google your account. And for it, it doesn't get any data from the net, not until you come here to search the net. So it only uses your own resources. So you can even get a podcast like this. And you listen to this when you're doing your other business.
I want you to close your eyes for
something like that.
Well, maybe don't close them if you're driving.
Right.
So it is something like It can even take like 9 minutes. You listen about how they talk about Power BI, how it interrelates.
Keep them open if you.
Think about, you can pick data about DAX. You hear about how this conversation is. It is entirely AI.
Yeah, but,
So I will stop that. Then you can also create a video presentation. Like if you want to watch something that you have created by yourself, Notebook LM can create for you that. So guys, I think that is it. So it is just a matter of clicking here and it goes ahead and starts creating. So this infographic just created data analysis clarity gap. So the more you research, the more it creates and fine tunes the different infographics it gives you. So I think that has been enough.
Is it free?
Okay, I will close that. Now, I think we can drop to our own what we are going to do today. Challenge that I will be using two pieces, but I will keep I'll keep hovering. Yes, Desmond, before we kick off.
Do you need to pay subscriptions to?
No. All these AIs I've opened here, I've told you that they all have the free versions. I know everyone here has used ChatGTP. You use it up to a certain point, it starts limiting you. When you're having a free version, it limits you like uploading screenshots, uploading files. But if you have paid for, you can easily analyze even your own data. Like we are going to do today, I'm going to show you how you can do that such that it gives you the best you need. Then cloud, the moment you
What
log in,
about
you create
the notebook?
notebook. Everyone with a Gmail has it. So it also has limitations that when you do a lot of requests, it will tell you that the requests for today are over, then it will reset after tomorrow if you're using a free one, but there is a paid one, which is a pro version. So if you need a pro version, obviously you can go to notebook pricing and you see how the pricing goes. But this is free because this is my Gmail. I have nothing I have paid on Google Notebook. Then Copilot also has free version of it, but it also limits you. After some requests, it starts telling you that your requests for today have got over. Maybe you need to pay. So all of them minimally, it means you can, if you want to pay for it, you can go for $20. But for now, first use them as they are free. But when you start loading them and you have too much work to use for them, maybe you can choose out the best and pay for that, right? But you don't need to pay for all of them. You can always choose like one, you pay for that if you feel like now this is the one I will be using going forward. So entirely here we are going to use OpenAI and Gemini since it is easier for us to access. The notebook, we are not going to use it. The other one is just used for searching and reading. You can even choose out a topic in notebook and you go through and teach yourself the whole topic just from notebook, asking questions and it gives you answers, gives you infographics, gives you audio, gives you videos and all that. Now, focusing again on our previous file that we had last time. Remember the last session we had, it was all about measures. And if I can do a recap, or for any person who maybe has missed all the other sessions. First of all, when you load your data, it loads when you come here and transform. We go to Power Query. So when you load your data, you do all the cleaning and transformation, which we call the ETL. That is extract, load, and transform. So this thing again is showing me that the source has changed. I think I have a bad habit of renaming these these folders of mine. Sometimes I be rearranging. So you'll find that I changed a folder here, so we can always go back and refresh this for it to pick the correct file. So I'll browse this. So for anyone who has been with us, when you load your data into Power Query, you go ahead and transform. What does transform involve? It involves a lot. Removing duplicates, removing nulls, splitting columns, merging them, merging tables, appending tables. We saw all that. Creating, adding columns depending on the need that you need to run with them. We looked at that. This is in module 3, I think. Then here, this was all customers. So if you're not going to refresh your data, sometimes you can go ahead and reuse it like that without even refreshing. Now, we have our tables here. After we have done all the bits we did last time, we went ahead and loaded this. Then after that, we went ahead and did the exploration. Is the data we have loaded exactly what we think it is? That is in the data view here, table view. We explored all our tables. Then after you do exploration and you confirm that everything is in line as how you need it, then you come now to data modeling. Data modeling has been a challenge to some people, but this is the simplest thing you can always do. And I can tell you that if you skip data modeling, then you're going to have a lot of issues in your visualization. So data modeling is a pillar that you can never skip when you're running an analysis. That is creating a relationship. You can't run with a successful family if you don't have a permanent a relationship that is active. I can use that term that we use these relationships that are active. And how do you create relationships? It is after you know how your data is. That's why we do data exploration. You know which field is linking to another table that has the same field, and which table is a dimension table and which table is a fact table. I remember he explained those. Fact tables, these are tables we have updated all every day, or they are the tables that consist of aggregated fields. Aggregated fields, they are these fields where you can sum, where you can average, where you can uh, count the distincts and all that. That is fact tables. Then dimension tables, this one consists of qualitative data. Like the whole table, it consists of just data that you can never add, data that you can never subtract and multiply and all that. So briefly, I can explain it that way, but go ahead and do the extensive reading. After you have done your arrangements, there is a question we had in I think the quiz. Someone was asking about that question. Is it Victoria or it's Nolina, one of you? And I think I explained it. It was talking about snowflaking. Snowflake means you're having a lot of fact tables and they are all over the place. At the end of the day, you'll find that you have matched the relationships wrongly. That's what. Now, the common relationship model we always use is um, star modeling or the star scheming. You can call it a scheme. So where you find that you have like one or two fact tables, then the dimension tables are just around it, just making something like a star, like how you hear star. So like when you look at something like this, the fact table is in the middle and all the others are the dimension tables just on the outskirts. And that's what we call a star schema. And that is the common one. So how do you create relationship? It is just a matter of dragging the field that is related either from the dimension table to the fact table, or from the fact table to the dimension table. The direction may not be so much important where you drag from to, but it will become important as we reach ahead, where we shall start talking about the filter levels and the context levels. That's when you'll understand where I should always carry, where my arrow should always face. And this arrow, the common one, is always one direction, unidirection. Unidirection, which means our arrow is facing one side. There are those relationships where you find there are two double arrows, one facing that side, another one facing that side. That is a complex data. And you always have to split it more in your Power Query to make sure that you don't have many to many. You get, like, you have a date or you have a customer ID that is appearing many times here, and also it is appearing many times in the fact table. That is always a problem. So when you double click on this relationship, you see that it is many to one. Many to one, one to many, it is all about the direction, how it is being run, but it's the same cardinality. Then there is another cardinality which is many to many, which we don't always use. Then there is a cardinality of one to one, which you can rarely use. If you have one to one, then those tables are not meant to be separated if they are one to one. But obviously, some cases you'll find that you have a table where you need one to one. So those are the levels of cardinality. Those are the categories of the different types of cardinalities we have. Now, when you master and you completed your relationships, how do you create a relationship? Last time I told you, let's say we are creating a relationship of date here. So you pick that date, this is the order date, and bring it and drop it on top of the dimension date. So you may not drop it directly where the date is. You can even drop it maybe on a different field. It will pop up, Desmond, just a minute. It will pop up this dialog table. So for you, you look out for the dates you have been linking. I've been linking the order date and I'm linking this date. So the moment, since we already have a relationship, that's why we have that error. But if you don't have a relationship already, it will give you the same and it will give you the cardinality. And the cross filter direction, obviously, it will be single if it is having one arrow. Then, like that. Also, let's say now we have product ID here, product ID. I know what is disturbing people is this level, because when you skip this level, it becomes a challenge for you to do relationships. You have to make sure that you understand your data. You see, like in customer table, I have a customer key. Sorry for that. I have a customer key. Now, this customer key means that since I'm looking at my customer's data, then it is a primary key. But if I go in the fact table, which is the all sales table, I will find there is a customer key here, which means this customer key in the fact table, it is called a foreign key. So I already know in my mind that because I'm doing my data exploration, I already know in my mind that I will be combining the other customer key with this customer key in the fact table. And when you combine the two, it means that wherever it finds 12677 in the table the other side, it means you'll have linked all the data that is in customer here, that is 1126677. You get that all this data here is already connected to the fact table, the all sales table, even though that data is not seated this side, by the fact that you have linked the keys together, right? Now, when you come to the sales key, you'll find that the same customer will do purchases more than once. That's why here it is many times. Then when you go to the other side of the customer, every ID appears once. That's why you get the other one to many. So because it appears once here, it means these details are never duplicated. You don't have another customer with the same ID with the same details. No, you don't have that. So the moment you have done that exploration, then it becomes easy for you when you drop to the model view where you're supposed to start tagging the relationship from one table to the other. Guys, the only way you can master this is to play with a lot of data. Do a lot of relationships, relate data. Even though you relate them wrongly, it will always give you those errors. Then you know those errors when you're still in the early stages. That when I join this, it gives me, is it an ambiguous relationship? It means that I'm making a loop, right? It's like if I make another relationship to the sales table like this, and that relationship accepts, and I go ahead and accept it, at the end of the day, it's going to give me an error that I have made an ambiguous relationship. Why do they call it ambiguous relationship? That this product subcategory is having a relationship with the product table, of which the product table has a relationship with sales. There is no need of again relating this with that. You get? It is like, Victoria, I'm coming, and Desmond, I'm coming, just a moment. It is like if you have your uncle, let me bring it to real life. If you have your uncle has a wife. You don't need to look out for the relationship you have between you and and his wife. Yet you know already the relationship you have is you are related to your uncle, and your uncle is related to his wife. That is the relationship here. You are here, this is your uncle, and this is the wife. It means that me, I'm related to my uncle. Then my uncle has a relationship to his wife. It means my relationship passes this side. Now it becomes an ambiguous relationship when I also have a relationship to the wife. If I'm a man and I start vibing my uncle's wife, that is now the ambiguous relationship. In society, it is wrong. So even in data modeling, it is wrong. I think I've brought it to the real life such that we understand exactly how data relates to the same. Now you can see like this. You have a child, you are here, your child has a relationship to this uncle, and your uncle has a relationship to the wife. I can't come and drag a column here to relate it with this because my child is going to relate directly to the wife, yet it is wrong because there is already a relationship that is appearing in this lineage. Okay.
Thanks, Christopher. Mine is not directly data modeling, but still the same section. Is there an easier way? Because you said part of normalizing is basically normalization is more like you need or you feel the need to split your data. Maybe you have too many rows, too many columns, and it only makes sense to group certain types of data. Let me say that category, product details, and all that. I've been trying to like copy, just as a test, copy a column from one of the tables after inserting a blank table, but it doesn't seem to bring an option of pasting. So I don't know, maybe it have showed us if there's a smarter way of visualization.
No, I get your challenge. I get your challenge, Victoria. Now, when you're normalizing a table, let's say we all know that we can't get all these tables separated like this. It is you now supposed to do your mastering that you create all these tables this way. Yeah, we haven't had a session on normalizing. I thought I would bring it at an advanced stage, and it's good you guys have done the reading and now you know what normalizing means. You have extracted a table from any system, maybe at workplace. Obviously, it is one report, but that report comes, it has sales, yes, it has revenues for that day, yes, for orders, but in that report, there are also columns like a phone number of a customer, there are names of the customer, the address, name them. Normalizing means that we divide this table into different chunks of small tables, right? Like how you see these chunks of small tables. And how do you do that? I think I need to get data because I don't think that we should rush into the other things before we. Let me see if I can get data that has such. So there is something we call referencing, which I want to show you how it is done. Yes, this is the correct data we can go with actually. So let's close this, or we can even save it as and put it maybe in a file that we know best, that we can easily pick it from there. Here, let me put it in session 5. This is module 5. The other thing that you can always do as a data analyst is being organized. I think I've always talked about that several times. The moment you don't get organized, guys, you're going to face a lot of issues when you reach in an advanced stage of visualizing your data. That's why I don't want to rush into visualizing. Visualizing, we can all do that, but it is the discipline that keeps us to that notch. Okay, we are going to do it quickly. I know we have done extraction ETL, so it is not going to take us a lot of time, but I want to show you how you do. So this is it, yes. So I will come here. What are we extracting? Actually, I wanted to see whether it is a CSV or it is, yeah, it is a CSV. Yeah? So I'm extracting a CSV. So I'll come here on get. Then look out for CSV. This is it. Look out for my data. I will go upwards 1, 2, then look out for module 5, and this is it. Why I'm getting organized such that I don't keep moving my files, because I remember every time you move them, there is need to always come to rearrange. And this is my data. This data is already clean. So there is nothing much we are going to deal with, but what I'm going to do, obviously I'll first pass it into a transformation data test. That is Power Query. So our Power Query editor loads. Okay. Now, when we do an exploration, let's do an exploration one by one. We have order ID, we have our order date, we have shipment date, we have shipment mode, customer ID. Then you have customer name. This is exactly what we wanted. Where there is a customer ID and a customer name. At some point, we don't need them to match together because there is a lot of repetition in both columns. And yet at the end of the day, we just need one to be in the fact table. Then here you have the segment. Then you have country, you have city, you have state, you have postal code, you have region, you have product ID. Now this is another ID. Now this ID, product ID, you have a category, you have subcategory, you have the product name, you have sales quantity. Now this is data that can be aggregated. Now, you see, already our mind is telling us that there are some splits we need to make. And those splits, that's what we call data normalization. You always get your data like this. Now, when we come to this, because we need to first understand exactly what we are going to do before we rush into doing it. Now, when you check here, we have a row ID, which is not going to play any purpose. Actually, even you can always remove this, because since we have order ID, then the row ID doesn't play anything. So this one is the sum first thing I'm going to kick off because I don't need it, the row ID. But sometimes you can leave it there and it helps you to count the number of orders, right? Like counting counting distinct maybe, or counting the number of rows you have, but you may not always need it. Then the order ID, since we are in the order table, I will leave it there. Actually, I will come here and rename this as orders. Make sure to prohibit yourself not putting spaces in the names of tables. Then this is order date, shipment mode. Then here now we have customer ID, customer name. These two things move together. Is there anything that can be attached to the customer? Let's move. There is a segment here. Can a customer be attached to a segment? Yes. It means if a customer lies in one segment, can't be in another segment. Then, if a customer is in United States, then that customer can't be in another state. If a customer is in that city, that customer can't be in another city. If a customer is in that state, can't be in another state. The postal code, the region, which means you see, we already have a customer table that is separate. So let's go ahead. This is what you do, Victoria. You right click on this, and now there are two things we do here. There is duplicate and reference. Now I will first explain one. Reference, when you say reference, it means that the table I'm creating, every time they update this table, wherever they're updating it from, it will always update all the child tables I created in my model, right? Then duplicate means that the data I'm dealing with is static. They are not going to update it. Like I'm doing an analysis of a static data or of data that is past, let's say 2001 to 2024. No one will ever go there to add a transaction. I can go ahead and duplicate. Now, the challenge with the reference, that every time your data is loading, it checks all the tables, whether there is a new update to update all the tables. Then with duplicate, it doesn't check the other tables because it's already static. So you can always take one of the two. For now, I will take a reference. So when I say reference, it creates a duplicate of the same table, which is the orders table. Now I'm going to call this table customer table. So I'll call that customer table actually, and I'm going to call it dim because it is a dimension. Now, in this dim, which columns don't I need? I only need columns that are pertaining customer. So, which means I need this column, the ID that is number 1. Then you press a control, you click on that, that is number 2. Then I need a segment. Now, in case there was anything to do like a segment ID, we can also create a table for only segments. Like how you saw the other data of ours was, we have children and grandchildren in a relationship. But this time, since we don't have an ID specifically for segment, we just take it part of the customer. Then country, part of the customer. Then city, you go ahead and do that. Then state, you do that. Then postal, you do that. And region, there we go. So all the other tables, I don't need them part of the customer table. I have selected what I need. Why am I selecting what I need? Because I am not going to select the many that I don't need, right? So when you select what you need, when you come here on remove columns, there are two options. Remove columns, it means you remove what you have selected, then remove other columns. You remove what you didn't select. So I will click on remove other columns. I will only remain with this. Now, when you remain with this, remember I've got it from the fact table, showing that we have duplicates here. So I'll go ahead and do the final stamp by clicking here on this. You see this icon here? It is a shortcut. You can also get all these options from transformer. So I'll come to this shortcut and I look for remove duplicates. You see when there is keep duplicates, but that's not the I'm looking for remove duplicates. I'll go ahead and remove duplicates. And my dear friend, it is creating the steps. So which means what we have here, every ID that is here is unique. If I click on it, and this one is showing that is appearing 7 times. It means we have a customer that shifted from one, either has a different territory or shifted, something like that. Let's check here. Yeah. So you see this guy. Actually, now when you're testing this, whether it is going to work right, it has to be a unique one. Now, since it is not unique, but because remember this ID, we are going to use it as a primary ID in this table. It means everything here has to be 111 appearing once, but you see here they're appearing 4 times. And what does this one give you? That we have an ID, same customer here, appearing more than once because one of the data that is this side changes. And what could that data be? We are going to check on one of them. So if you want to check on one of them, like this one, we shall right click on that and say filter equals. You get it? You can even go here and filter that same name or same ID, but I can do it directly from the distribution. A question: how do you activate this distribution such that every time I select, it shows me how the distribution is going? How you do that is this side under view, you have to come and check the column profile and column quality. It will always give you this distribution. Actually, there is no, the column distribution, this one, actually this is value distribution. Column distribution appears in the column itself, so I don't need that. It is making my thing shabby. So I said when you right click here and say equals, text filter what is equal to this. So the moment we filter, let's learn this table very well. You see this customer is the same, the name is the same, the segment is the same, which means these ones we don't have a problem with them. But where do we start getting issues is the country is okay, but the city is changing. It means that this city is not connected to this customer. Even though it is connected to that customer, then this customer has been moving. So it means that this city is not part of the customer's details because we didn't find here customer's city, right? So we shall always remove it and leave it in the fact table because maybe it is talking about where maybe the salesperson grabbed the order from. We can't tell, but it is city part of the sales data. So this tells me that city is the one making this customer appear many times because it is changing. Then state also is changing. If I can also look at postal, all these now are changing, which means this customer of mine, I'm going to drag the customer up to the country they live in, right? So I will leave out the other ones to be part of the data the other side. So that means that I'm going to remove this filter I put. You see this filter we put from down here, you can remove it from here. Don't struggle with it, just exit here, you'll go back to default. Now it means that among the columns I was removing here, I was supposed even I can go back here and remove also those columns I was saying. How do you, let me go home. Now, when you come back here on remove other columns, when you click on this, you see this setting icon, it will always bring for you this. So I can uncheck. Why I'm doing this, I don't want to create many steps. Otherwise, I would have created another step here of remove other columns or remove columns. And I don't want to create that. Remember, the least the steps you have, the more easier your report lands and quicker. So I'll go ahead and check region and check postal code and check state and actually city. We saw that these ones are not part of us. We remove them. Now, let's again, we removed duplicates here. Let's skip that and come here. Now, when we click on the ID, do we get any customer with more than one? You see all of them are 111, right? Then when we come to the customers here, all of them are 111. When we come to segment, obviously segments are going to be more than that, and the country will be more. Actually, they are all in United States. Okay, the first 1,000, they are all in United States. So that's no worry. Now, it means now this is my first dim table, right? Now we have to go the other side. It means now the other side, we just need to leave there the customer ID. This, and this here in the orders table, we no longer need it there. That's the purpose why we do normalization, to reduce the size of the fact table. So which means customer name, segment, and country. We are deleting them from here because all these are being mapped from this table to the other dim table by the customer ID. So I'll go ahead and delete those by, even though I click here, it will remove those columns. We are supposed to duplicate. So because we are removing columns from the other side, we can do this quickly, duplicate, because when I go back the other side to remove those columns, it shows here that they are not being pulled. That's now the challenge we are running with, because we need still to shorten the other cells table. So I'll remove this dim. Let's do it quickly. I do duplicate. Those who maybe wanted to follow again, this is what we are doing. This is dim customer. There we go. Now, what we are removing here, we know what we are remaining with this time. We are remaining with, come back here. We first leave that there. I removed the columns I needed instead of removing the ones I didn't need. So here I only need this segment and country, right? So others, I'll say remove others. Then after that, I'll remove duplicate like this. Remove duplicate. And then I'm going to create now another table. Which other table are we going to create? You see you have a product ID here. And this product ID, you have the category. Where do we have the products? Where are the products? Product ID. So we have a product ID, we have a category, we have subcategory. So which means since, just a moment. So since we only have a product ID, we don't have a category ID, we don't have a subcategory, we don't have a product name, but we can take all these, since every product here lies under product, category, and subcategory. We can manage it from the other end. So which means I'm going to duplicate this again. So duplicate this, and I'm calling this dim product. So dim product. Then what next? Now we are only remaining with this ID, the category, the subcategory, and the product. right? Now, since this is the product that is high level, then the category comes next. The subcategory comes behind that. So we are going to take this. So which means I'll right click on this. You can even right click and you say remove other columns. I've shown you many options where you can get the remove other columns. You can get it from here. You can right click there. You can get it from transform. So remove other columns. Then after remaining with these, I go ahead and remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. So after removing duplicates, the first thing you have to do is to test your product ID, because this product ID, sorry, this product ID is it is your primary key in this table, which means it doesn't have to appear more than once. Now here, this one ID is appearing twice. Let's say, let's check what is making it appear twice. Is because the product name is different. The ID is the same and the product name is different. So which means we are dropping the product name. We shall go with the category and subcategory. Just for this data, I'm giving an example. That data is a sample data. It is just generated sample. It means we can get these scenarios. It shouldn't worry you. The data you're getting from a system that is tailored can't get these issues. I think you get it right. That data is tailored from let's say the internet, or it's just sample. So I would have left this if this ID was showing unique. But since I've seen that the product name here is not unique for this table, it means that I'm removing it. Then I'll go ahead. The product ID will be represented by the category and the product category. But ideally, it is supposed to be the product name directly linking to the product ID. And I've given you the reason why. I'm doing this, I'm removing it because I find these IDs appearing more than once, and every ID has to be the same description of the product name. But you can't have an ID with different descriptions. It means the data was cooked somehow. That's why I'm removing this to keep our integrity. Then we keep with this. Then I'll go ahead and remove duplicates again. Or if you always want to, you can always shift this to the bottom, but it will show you that there is a product, that a column that is missing. That's why I was saying I don't want to create these two columns. Maybe if I can create an annotation for you to understand what I'm talking about. Just a moment. Now, this is what I'm talking about, that creating this column and creating this step, it is okay for now, but the moment the data becomes more bigger, these steps, if you repeat like other scenarios like 7 times in the same file, that is the more time you're adding to your file to refresh and load. So we keep, that's why I was saying that the moment you master this, now you know how to optimize your performance of your report as you're doing the transformation. So which means I'll remove this, then go back to the other step. That's where I'm going to remove the product name from. Such that it's just only one step that does all that, and I don't have to remove duplicates again. So which means this time, if I click on the product ID, all of them appearing once. And that's what we call a dim table. That the ID, the primary ID you have, has always to appear once. That's why you don't have to go to your data model and you find you have a cardinality of many to many. Then you know that somewhere you screwed. You should go back and review before things get out of hand. So I'll go ahead and load this. It is already loaded. Maybe I can just go ahead and load here. Now, but remember, you can always go back and remove those columns from this side. So remember, we duplicated this time. We didn't reference. So if I remove them, I bet they shouldn't be. So here I remove this and this, since they're already being presented by that. by the product ID. I'll leave there the product name because it gave me some issues that I didn't link. Then what else are we removing? This customer name, we don't need the name here. We don't need the segment. We don't need the country. All of them are linked to the other side. So I'll go ahead and remove them. So you'll find that our table has started shrinking the more, and this is the way we need it. You can even go ahead and create IDs, but I don't want to take you in creating IDs. Here we only had order ID, which is IDs for the whole sales table. Now here we have a foreign ID, which is customer ID, and the product ID. Those are the ones we have based on to create these two. So which means now you can imagine I've eliminated, I think, like around 6 columns. But you can imagine if you have a big chunk of data that you have a customer name, phone number, the address, the spouse, the age, all those you just come and dump them here and remove them from the other table. So the moment I load this, then after loading, I'm very comfortable going to my schema or my model to create a model. Here it goes. We have created already when you come to the table view, these are our tables. This is the DIM customer, this is the DIM product, and that is the orders. And when you come to the relationships, they have already created relationship automatically. Someone asked me this question. The moment the columns here and the primary column here, which is customer ID, and the foreign column, customer ID, they are same in description. They will always create automatic relationships. But if they are different, like here you called it customer ID and here you call it, let's say, client ID, but their meaning is the same. There you'll always come and drag this on top of this to create this relationship. Now I think now you understand what it means by this one-to-many. That here this customer ID is appearing once, and here this customer ID is appearing many times. That's why it is one-to-many. If I double click on this, it will open and show us that this is a many-to-one because it is reading from the fact table, many-to-one. And the cardinality is the cross filter direction is single. The single stands for this arrow. The same thing here. Now here you can go ahead and create your calendar table. You push it and you start now doing the visuals, right? With ease. You start doing your visuals with ease, but don't start doing the visuals without a calendar table. We talked about that last time. And the purpose why you always need a calendar table is to run the time intelligence calculations like year to date, previous day, having things like running sales per day, sales per week, previous week. You can't run all those measures if you don't have a calendar table. And after having a calendar table, you have to go to the models and mark it as a date table. And when you're done with that, then you can go ahead and start the visuals. Now, seems today that I'm going now to jump to, we want to use AI to see whether it can generate for us measures. And we just transfer those measures. Since last time we went through the syntax, you know now you can read the measure and know this is the syntax, this is what it means. Now I want to show you the easy way how you can always create measures directly in AI, not struggling a lot, thinking the whole day which measures do you need and which you don't need, but you need to always go through those measures to learn what they mean, such that when an error comes up, you can easily prompt AI or ask a question about the same, because you can't ask questions of what you don't know. So we're using this as a demo for normalization. I think Victoria, thanks for bringing it up. I was trying to push this one ahead, but I think it came in the right time. And I don't know whether Desmond now you still need the session with me about modeling. I think now this one explains what has been challenging you in modeling. I know most of us were seeing relationships, but you had still challenges. What means these terminologies, a few of them, but here we go. Now, let's go back to our data because I want us to use the other data till we finish these sessions. Now, this was our model. I think now when you look at this, it looks familiar. So this was our model. And now we want to create measures. Did we create some measures? Yes, last time we did create some measures. Here we go. So here are the measures we created. You see, those are the measures we created. Now today, I want to show you how you group these measures in folders. That I'm going to be so much smart that I can put my measures in folders such that I know which measure lies where. There are projects you're going to run and you'll find that you have over 70 measures. Let me see whether I can open something here. There are projects you're going to run, you'll find that you have over 70 measures. My dear, you can't keep scrolling through the 70 measures. That is time wasted, that is fatigue. But the moment you put them in folders, it is a plus for you and it improves on productivity. Every time you come to this file, it is very easy for you to navigate. Just opening this, and we shall go directly to models. And if I show you something, go to models. Okay, it's still loading. Now, this is the model. This model shouldn't scare you. It's what we have been doing. What you see in the middle, all these are dimmed. Now, because now this model, we had more fact tables than dim tables, so I put the dim in the middle. So you can see dim date, dim department, this is the calendar date, dim department, dim vehicles, dim drivers. Then these became, I brought them on the outskirts. That is the start time. Still it stands, not start time, sorry. Still it stands as a star schema because of the layout it is. So what you see here that is not related, it means these tables I either appended them or I don't need them in my model. You should always also make that segregation. The moment you don't need a relationship, don't create it because it takes time when your data is loading or when your report is loading. Now, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Here we go. You see this? This report has 65 measures. You can even have a report having more than that. That's how complex the report is going to be. Like it's going to report a lot or it's going to have many pages. Now, question is, did I create all the 65 measures one by one? The answer can be yes, you can create them. But I will tell you, I didn't create them one by one because I had ChatGTP and I knew how measures are being created such that I can look at every measure and look at its syntax and I understand what is being done. That here they are using a calculate, they are counting rows, but they are filtering out a driver who has a green who has a green tag, and we are counting green drivers. Very simple. So the moment you know to read your measures, it is very easy, even creating them from any AI tool you have. Now, when I'm creating my videos, do I keep scrolling through? No, I don't. Why? I grouped those measures into folders. So when you come to measures, the visual interface here, and expand my measure table, you see my measure table. I don't know whether I can enlarge this. Yes, good. So when you look at my measure table, you see I grouped it in this way. Number one folder is foundation. Number two is it is about safety. All measure about safety. Number three measures about composite. Number four measures about performance. Number five measures about time intelligence. Like those measures of year to date, previous year, da 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 da. Number six, these are the dynamic texts. We shall look at them. Like it is a description you give to the report viewer, how the graph is describing whatever they are doing. Let's open one. So when you expand, let's say performance, it is going to bring you all these measures. Expanding here. Now this is all about performance, average movement productivity, GPS average speed. This is all about performance. Now if I collapse that, then I come to time intelligence. That's where you'll find these measures of driver score, MOM, month on month. Then you see driver score RAG. RAG means red, amber, green. If you want to bring in those colors in your report, that when it shows red, then it means the driver has gone in the worst position. We are going to look at, they are very easy to have, and we are going to look at those measures. You see, like such a measure that if a driver has a score of 0, gray. If a driver has less than 2, green. If a driver has a score of 5, amber. If he has more than 5, red. Just a simple measure using the switch function. I'm showing you this not to scare you, but to show you how you can always preview your measures. Now, why we are calling this time intelligence? It is all about time. So YOY is year over year. That if I want to get the sales for 3rd of March 2025, that is year over year. Then month over month is last month, this day, from 1st to 3rd. What was the sales compared to this month, 1st to 3rd? That's what it means. Then year to date. Year to date means from Jan 1st to now. Then MTD means month to date, right? From month to date, that is 1st of March to today. Then YTD means year to date. I've already talked about that. Now, those are the time intelligence or intelligence measures that you can't do them when you don't have a calendar table. You can do even the other measures and put together the revenue total what, but the moment you don't have a calendar table, you can't do this. Because when you click on any of those, let's say month on month, you see there is that function it has, previous month. That is a function embedded in Power BI. It comes with Power BI. So you see what they are doing here. They are saying calculate. You see, we use calculate when we want to filter. Here they are calculating driver score. Driver score has been calculated somewhere else because it is already a measure. That's why you see it is in square brackets. Driver score, but they are saying in those driver scores, I want you to bring me previous month for using the dim date. Dim date, this is the table, the column in the calendar table. That's what it means. Very short, and that becomes month over month. When you come to year over year, you see here they are using the same thing, but here they are saying same period last year. It is a function in Power BI. Same period last year. Very easy, you're not going to struggle with it. So you're saying here, calculate for me the driver score, same period last year, using the calendar column for date. Very easy. It will be telling, the moment you filter, let's say, a driver agri, the moment you filter driver agri, and you have this measure somewhere in your data, or it is on a column chart or something like that, it will be giving you here the driver score for today and the driver score for the same period last year. It means if I've selected today, it will give me for 3rd last year. If I've selected a month of August, it will give me a month of August last year. That's what it means. So that's how you read measures. They are very easy. Measures are very easy. The only thing is to understand the syntax, how we write them, and which functions exist. And that's why I was telling you, do more practice, then you'll capture this. The moment you don't practice, my friend, you'll forget. Okay. Now, we close that. Let me take you on how do we create these folders. I think I can. Oh, how do we segregate these into our folders? Now, when we look at our data, we can get a folder for numbers. We can get a folder for totals, something like that. Yes, can get a total for totals. Then we can get a folder maybe for performance, where we are going to have like percentage profit. How do you do that? You go to data modeling. Now, when you go to that data modeling and you come here under measures like this, and you click on any measure, the properties here will be, it will show different properties than what you were seeing before. If this is minimized, please, you can maximize it again. So when you see these properties, it tells you this is the name of the measure. This is the table in which the measure is, and you can even change and move that measure into another table. Then here, there is what we call display folder. So the name I type here is automatically going to create a folder with that name. So we have said those ones we are going to put as numbers. You can even name them as number one, such that one goes at the top. I always like to use 0, 1, such that when I reach at 10, 10 remains at the bottom. It doesn't come as 1, 10, 11, right? I think you have ever got to those scenarios. So number one, we are going to say numbers, just that. And I will copy this because I want to use it on all the measures with numbers. So I'll copy that, because when I make a different spelling, it will create a different table, because those tables have different names. Now, I want also this to put it under that, but let's first go to visuals. We see whether our folder is created. So when you come to visuals, you see under measures, there is a folder created as number one, numbers. And when I expand it, there is already my customer. Now, when you're under visuals, you can't drag this and put it here. You can't. You see, it can't allow you dragging and putting it in that folder. But when you do that under data view, it will accept. So when we come under data view, where is it? You come under here, you see. So I'm scrolling down, leave this measure thing, come here under table, then you'll see this table, which means now I can drag this and put it on top of that folder, and it will be part of that. And when I click on it, the name will automatically have picked. Or you can just click on it and also paste this name there. The moment for product this, and I change anything here, let's say put numbers and I put Z. When I come this side, they become two folders because they have different names. That's why I was telling you, you have to be keen on the spelling. So, which means I have to be keen on the spelling that this one I've put on Z, it was not Z, it was S. That's why now when you finish, you can always come this side and drag them. Now, we are done with that numbers. Let's do another one. Click on this for total, and come on here on, we make it number 2, right? That is 02 dot totals. There we go. Now, since I'm under data model, when you see these relationships, you know you're under data model. There I can drag. So when you come under table, don't look for the folder under here, under measures. You can even minimize these. You're supposed to find it. Remember, these are schematic model. You have heard me talking about scheme. Sorry, semantic model, not scheme. Semantic model. So you come under tables, then that's where you'll see this. So which means now I can drag all those for totals, like total cost. I can drag it and bring it in this folder like this on top there, like how you drag in within the other folders. Then even for revenue, I put it under totals. Then this for numbers, it was meant to be under numbers. Then I've remained now with one folder, with one measure that doesn't have a folder. Actually, even for profit, it is under totals. Actually, profit, we can take it in performance. So we can click on that and come and create a. Do you know why I'm putting numbers? Such that my folders can be arranged in that order I want them. When you don't put numbers, like 1, 2, 3, they will arrange themselves alphabetically. And me, I want to always, when I think of one, totals, 2, 3, like that. So I'll come on profit, click on it. For the first time, I type here the name, that is performance. I can copy that this time, Control A, Control C. And when I enter, it will create the folder. Then I come on this performance. I can even paste the name here. If I don't drag, I can paste the name there. It will automatically go there. Now, if I go to my visuals this time, my measure table is very clean. You get, even though you have 1,000 measures and they are grouped like this, you can never fail to be productive. If I want to edit something very easy, I know where to pick it. So that is something important I've shown you, and it is a discipline you need to take, that it improves on productivity. Every 5 minutes, you drop in an hour when you're working on a report. In a week, in a month, those 5 minutes will aggregate in 2 hours. In a year, they will aggregate in 2 days. It means you spend a whole day looking for measures. Yet you could be productive that way. Okay. Now we have less than 30 minutes. In less than 30 minutes, I want to show us how you can go to ChatGPT, ask it to create, and how you can prompt it. Ask it to create for you measures for that dedicated data. And what are we going to do? We are going to give it a screenshot of our model. So my ChatGPT is paid for. If yours is not paid for, you may not paste their screenshots. You may have to copy and paste the column headers directly, right? So how do you copy and paste columns directly? You can always do it like this. So when you go to when actually you find it, when you go to transformation, I want to show those who will want to just extract the columns. Actually, we don't give it the whole of our data. You can even only give it the structure of how your table is. Now we can start with all these doing this, because I changed this name. Just a moment. There is something I changed. I'm going to change it now from here. I told you that the moment you know your data, you can easily know where to change. So this is the name of folder I changed. So this is the name I want to change. So if I come now to this, that is showing an error, come to the source here. So I change this client, because I changed that name the other side in my folders, you see. So the moment you know already your code, what it means, it is very easy for you to play with. So which means I don't have to go back to pick the folder where it is coming from. You see, like that. So you see the error disappears. So wherever the error is, just come to the source, because I know what I have changed. the client folder, I changed it to client and groups. That's why it is giving me that error. So this one has jot, I have to repick it. So this is the challenge you always find when you keep adjusting the source of your files. That's why when you're to run your report, you make sure that it is here in module 3, there, and this is territory. And okay, yep. Then for sales has already automatically changed because it was an appending. We appended these two. Since the two are already worked on, then so what was I showing you? That when you come this side of Power Query and right click on this, there is always an option of copy. All right. So if I want to copy the structure of this, if I can't screenshot, I'll copy this, open my Excel, which means you're going to copy one table by one. So open my Excel, paste it there like, oh, no. It's not meant to be that. Actually, I'm supposed to have copy table. Let's load this. Copy table, we get it from data view. So when I come to data view, yeah, we get it from here. So when you come on these three dots, there is copy table here. I don't know that my screen is matching with what I'm saying. So this is it. So which means now I'm copying customer table. I'm going to take it in this sheet like this, right? Now, you'll realize that in this sheet, I may not need even this, the whole of this data. You can even leave there like only 5 because we don't need to take our data in AI. The moment you give AI a structure for it, it will run for you what you need as measures. Okay. Here I'm deleting those. Just I'm leaving there 5. So and this table is customer this. So I'm making sure that I copy this. Guys, pay attention. Let's go through this together because this is the way you can always easily maneuver with creating measures with ease. Then let's go to another table, the sales table. I will copy table, go to this sheet, create another sheet like that. So I can leave only a sample of like 3, like that. So make sure that the real names that are in your Power BI report, they are the real names you use, such that when it gets you measures, you don't need to edit again, because we are going to put that in our prompt, that all the sheet names are the table names. Yeah, so we have finished that. We have finished customer. We come to this product, and we go ahead and copy table. Let me do this quickly. So then the name is this. Now you see the reason why we don't put spaces in the names. The moment you have spaces in this disorganization, you find that you have skipped some. Copy table, create this, and we can even leave just a sample. Why am I removing some of the data? I don't want this file to be too big for me to upload wherever I'm going to put it, because where I'm going to put it, I just want the AI or wherever I'm going to put to look at the structure, the header. They are the main point. So the name here is copy, and I'll bring it here. No, I didn't copy, I think. Control A, copy. Good. So which table are we remaining with? Products, territory, and calendar. So copy this, put this here. I can remove the others, then go back, get the name. So then territory, copy this, create a new sheet, get the name, then come here, copy the name, go back and paste it here. Then the dim date, take it as how it is. You can even take, remember for it was a calculated measure, but still it has a copy table here. So that's how large it is. So for the calendar table, yeah, you can take the DAX, but let's put the whole of it as how it is there. Now, then this is dim data. So I'll bring it here. Now, okay, this is done. The next thing, I will need a screenshot of my model. That's why you'll always need your model to be in the same view on your page like this. Now, when you right click on this and you say collapse all, you see it collapses them. And when you right click on this and you say expand all, it expands all. So I want to take a screenshot when it is expanded like this. So I'll go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I don't want to leave out anything unturned. So I save that on my desktop or my downloads and call it the semantic model. Just using this term such that you get used to it. Now we go to ChatGPT. The DAX query view, which I didn't tell you last time until here we are now. The DAX query view, which is the fourth tab. So when you click on this fourth tab, it shows you that you can create queries, which those are measures. A query in data is like a question, like querying something. It is English. I don't need to over explain it. Now, here in queries, you can remove everything. And when you come to your measure table, because we want all our measures to be punched into the measure table, I'll right click on that. Then you come on quick queries. Then quick queries, then you come and say define new measure. So define new measure. So when you say define new measure, you see it is like it wants to create a new measure, right? So it means that when we are telling ChatGPT, we are going to tell it that we want to load all the queries in all the measures in one go, and we shall tell it these steps. I have this name of a measure table. I want to load all of them in the measure table by defining a new measure query. It will give us a code, all of them consolidated. We come and put it here, then we run, boom. It will have created all the number of measures they will have created for us. Let's drop onto doing the work. So going to ChatGPT. Now, if you have never got any person to tell you what engineering prompt is, ChatGPT is like a person. that when I come on this call and I tell you that, guys, tomorrow all of us, we are having our session in town, and I don't tell you the location, we are all going to get lost. Or when I tell you we are going to have our session in town and I don't tell you the date, the time, we are going to get lost. And maybe if I say, I have a group here, I want to meet one-on-one in town, and I don't tell you that group, it means you'll either all of you not come thinking you're not part of the group, or you'll come thinking you're part of the group, yet you're not. Now, it comes the same to AI. You have to tell it what to do. With AI, any AI you're dealing with, we start by telling it its role. Like I say, Oscar, you may be a logistics analyst. I want you to create a monthly report. Now, when you tell AI like that, it puts its mind into being a logistics analyst. It doesn't think about being marketing, doing whatever other people are searching about it. It puts their mind to be a logistics analyst, or it puts its mind to be a Power BI developer. Then now you tell it, I want you to create a monthly report. It now doesn't look at, hey, they all even can create annual report. They can create a report for a decade. It looks at creating a monthly report. So that's how we do prompt engineering. First, you give AI a role, you give it a context, you give it a rule to run with. Don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, like we are going to do. Let's start. For today, it will be brief, guys. But if you love that, you can go ahead and read more about AI. So here I will say, you give it a role first. You are a Power BI developer. Tasked to develop a report attached. Now, tasked to develop a report. I'm going to put spaces such that you understand what I'm talking about. We have given Power BI a role. You are a Power BI developer, tasked to develop a report. That is one. Attached, now I'm giving it context. Attached is a sheet or is a workbook with different sheets named with table names in my Power BI report. So I've already told it that when you go to this workbook, every sheet name is the table name, which means when it is creating measures, it will pick it as a table name. So actually, let's save this. We didn't save this. We can save this to our here, module 5. This is AI prompting. Guys, just be patient with us. You need this actually. Even if you drop, please come back. We are just going to take like 10 minutes. You need this, but we can repeat it at some time, but you need this. So we have already saved that. Coming back here. So we have already told it that we are going to attach a workbook with different sheets named with table names in my Power BI report. That is the first context. The other context is also attached is a screenshot of my semantic. Another name for semantic is data model, but data model is the old one, semantic model. with the correct relationships. I want to just make it brief. Now, here we have given context, what it has to look out to. Let's attach this. Now, since mine is paid, I'm going to attach those files. The screenshot is already here. Then I'm going also to attach the other file. Show more. It is here. Here. Then in model 5, it is this. Now it can't attach because it is still open. I will close it here. Wait a minute. I have to close it first. I think I told you about that. So most of the cases you can't attach files that are already open. Now we have attached our file. We have attached our semantic model, our model or relationship. Now we have given it a role. We have given it a context. Now we are going to give it rules to follow. Create, or I will first say, take your time. When you tell Power AI that it doesn't rush to give you answers, take your time, read through, don't mind of the spelling, it can always simulate that. Read through, I'm fine now, yeah? You go, I'll find you there. Take your time. Take your time, read through the attachments. That is rule number 1. Number 2, advise all KPIs that can be generated, stroke reported in such kind of data. I'm giving it rules. The moment you don't give AI rules, it will give you what it feels like is correct. Now that is the second rule. Then I'm fine now. You go, I will call you. Explain each, because remember I'm going to present this report. I have to explain to the audience when I'm presenting this report what each KPI mean. Briefly explain each KPI advised. We can give it another role. Create all the necessary measures required. Now, the moment you don't want Power BI, you want to be so critical on something, you can always even put it in capital letter. Power BI reads capital letters different than lower cases. Don't give me any measure that is weak for the report. You can also tell it, don't give me a maximum of 30 measures. Give me measures that maybe operational dashboard reporting kind of executive. I have a video on that. You can check it on my YouTube channel, what every dashboard has always to have. Now, we have given it rules. The rules may not end, but I'm not going to put the other rule of putting all the measures together. I want it to first drop all the measures one by one. Then I'll go ahead and say output the measures then. Now, you always tell Power BI to ask you any question for clarity if it needs more context. Ask any question for clarity in case you need more context. So, guys, that's briefly how they use Power BI. Yeah? Sorry, they use AI. We don't just come there as how we used to use Google search. The moment you use AI like this, you'll always get the perfect answers you need, and you'll always not wonder to get to verify them. I'll go ahead and run this. Obviously, I will give it time. It is going to prompt. Sometimes I do one-on-ones on how to use AIs and create presentations and all that. So, but I use many AI tools. You can ask any questions as it is giving us whatever we need. Now you see, because of what I told it, take your time. This is what it is doing. It is taking its time. You see, it is still doing the analysis in the background before it gives me answers. But otherwise, it would have given me already the answers. Then it also has an option, answer now, if I'm not patient enough. But remember, I want it to be patient. I'm the one who told it, take your time. And because of that statement of take your time, that's why you see it is taking its time to read through that sheet, to read through the screenshot and all that to give us the perfect answer. So you can ask any question if you can, but I would ask you to be patient like 5 minutes. Let's have our measures completed. Then you guys, actually, I'm going to share with you this. So whenever you want to share like a ChatGTP link, you can always come here and share when it is done. The moment they give me a link and I share it with you, you get exactly what I searched for. So I'm going to share this on WhatsApp, such that we all have it. Now here it starts. I have read your Excel workbook and it has given me these names as the way how he had put them. That was the purpose. Your model is clean. Sales star schema. You say it is already a star. It has known what is the fact table. It knows the dimensions. All of them are here. The date relationship is done perfectly. How I derived to this KPI step by step, because I told it to explain. Now I checked what measurable and what is not measurable, blah blah. You read through. This allows a strong KPI in 5 buckets: sales volumes, value, profitability, order, customer behavior, time intelligence, and stock to sell aging because of stocking date exists. I avoided weak KPIs. You get, because I told it avoid weak KPIs that need missing fields like discounts, returns, shipping cost, da, 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 da. So here we go, it gives me now the KPIs. Because I told it explain, that's why it has explained the sales KPIs, sales amount, units sold, order, average, da, da, da. You come to profitability, cost of goods sold, profit, gross profit, the margin done. Now all done, will come here and start giving you one measure by one, and all measures will be done. So you see the first measure, you can even copy it from here directly. But though here the measures have been combined, you see there is unit sold, sum of all sales, order quantity, orders, distinct value, active customers. Then when you come to sales, it has given me sales amount, COGS, profit, and profit gross margin. Then when you come to basket order economics, that's given me average order value, unit order per. Those who have been in sales, you know these. Then time intelligence order based value, sales month to date, sales quarter to date, sales year to date, gross profit month to date, year to date. Then LOI means last year, sales last year, sales year over year, sales year over year percentage. You get, Now, when you look at these measures, my friends, you'll find that these measures are over 30 plus. Obviously, it comes and gives you alternative KPI ideas you can include. We don't need that for now. Now, it also tells me the action plan. Create a measure table, I already have it. And test one measure by one, foundation, which we already have. In the same order. Oh, here they are telling me foundation, profitability, time, customers, and stock. Like creating those folders. You remember the folders we created? Now here they are telling you can create your folders in this format. For time intelligence, this, that. Now, these measures, if I want to take, which means I will take one by one. Let me say which measure. So let me start with this one here, the first one. Copy. So when you copy that, Control A, Control V, then I go ahead and check. Here is it, new sold. So if I click there and drag it and put it there, it will automatically give us the unit sold, right? So now, are we going to bring one by one? No. Now we are going to tell ChatGTP about this scenario, this of the number 4. I've shown you how you can copy one by one, but now we want to tell this scenario of number 4. We want to go to measure, that is the measure table. Our measure table is underscore measure. Then we'll go to new queries. Then we create, define all measures in this table, no? Define all measures in the model, no? Define new measures. So we shall come here and define new measures like this. So now I'm going to come here on in ChatGTP, give it another command. I want to load all the measures at once through this is called the DAX Query view, through the DAX Query view tab. I have a measure table. Then you name it here by putting it in quotes. It is underscore measure. When you use a wrong spelling, it means that every measure you'll have to rewrite it again by changing this. So that is the spelling measure. Measure like this. No. Wait a minute. Okay. Then close quote. I have a data measure that. Then what is this step is when you come to quick queries, then define measure using steps, quick queries, then define measure. Go ahead and create a single block to upload. Block ready to copy and paste. I'm telling it that such that I'm not going to do anything after it has given me the measures. So I enter. So I'm going to wait for it to combine all. It has already known how to pull that. Yeah, below is a single DAX, view that quick queries, define measures. Then it will create and overwrite all that, then copy and paste. Now this is it, what they have given me. It is still running. First wait not until it is done. So I'm not going to go ahead and tell it to put it in the different folders, but it is also able, but here you'll have to just copy them one by one yourself. Like grouping them, that one is easy. You can do it. It is still running the whole block. And so that's what we call productivity with these tools. There is no way you're going to come in the meeting brag that I created all the measures by myself. The thing is, learn the tools, learn how measures are done, learn the syntax, learn how to debug the errors. Then, my friend, you'll always be that quick. Now I've copied the whole block. There is a copy here. I'll come to my Power BI. Do the same thing, queries, define queries. Here this one comes, just do a Control A and delete everything, paste what I have brought. This is what I've brought. So when you bring your query, your measures, just note this bar not to have a red anywhere. When you have a red, then you can always go back to ChatGTP. I've got an error maybe on this line. It will always correct it. So that's how it defines them. It defines a measure, it says measure, it brings it like how we pasted it the other side, measure this, measure, then it brings the measure table. That's why I copied the exact name of the measure table. Otherwise, I would be editing it from here. Now, when all this is done, I will say update model with changes. There are 36 measures. I'll say update model with changes, and it will ask me update model. It has updated all the measures we have. So when you come back now to this, you see the measures we have. All measures have been created with ease, just perfect like that. So which means now, just a short one before you leave. If I drop here my card and bring, let's say, profit, and bring profit here, you get that is the profit, which means I can go on this card right now on settings and look out for reference labels. You get you see these reference labels, then I can start putting profit year on year, profit year to date. You have seen sometimes some done like this. Oh, it is not supposed to be here. So I can bring year to date here. Then I can bring profit that last year. So you find that you have one card that is having all the data. This is the gross profit, which means if I put here, let's say a month, we have where is our table. So guys, I'm going to share with you this Power BI file. You can start from there with also the ChatGTP. Actually, this let me share right now before we complete, because I might forget. So I'm going to copy the link. Then I'll share that link on our WhatsApp. For now, let me share it in the chat. If you are able to copy it and save it somewhere for yourself, save it. But I will share also the other side. So which means when you double click on it, it will take you to exactly this chart, the whole of it. If we put like a filter here for month, let's say, where is month name? This. You get this. Which means if I click on February, you see it gives me the profit for February, gross profit year on year, which means the last year of February, whichever year I'm selecting. Year to date, that is January to that February. Then this profit month to date is for that February only, month to date, whichever dates are selected. Then gross profit last year. In last year, Feb, what did we have? So that's that, guys. Now, I know by the time we reach visualization, you'll all be perfect on creating all these models and all that. This has been the foundation. That's why you see we have not rushed into charts and making things beautiful. It was all about the foundation. Do you know how to extract? Do you know how to transform and clean? Do you know how to model data? Do you know how to create DAX? Now you know how to prompt AI to create for you DAX with ease, which means you can create a project in one day. Then the next time I'm going to prompt for you how it can create for us a dummy dashboard, and we know what we are going to put where for ease, and we shall do that in our next session. But guys, just practice, and I think I will just need us to drop the call from here. I've gone 2 hours and 16 minutes. It has been a marathon.